Good day. Welcome to King William Was Everything. Today we're going to look at, yes, a book. The Anatomy of the 1541 Disk Drive. This is for the Commodore 64 1541 and for the VIC-20 and the Commodore 128. But this book, what's kind of cool about this book, this is actually from, I believe, 1984. And you can see it's the Anatomy of the 1541 Disk Drive, and this in-depth guide for the Commodore's 1541 disk drive owner unravels the mysteries of using the 1541 for programs sequential and relative, which they highlighted in white, files with plenty of working examples. And it does have a lot of DOS examples. So if you want to put in your own program, you can do that. This book includes several useful utilities: disk monitor, file protector, backup, merge, and more. The Anatomy also discusses the internals of the disk operating system with the complete, fully commented ROM listings. And actually the ROM listings is probably 2/3 of it. So if you're interested in ROM listings with the comments, so you can kind of see here, let's see, record length, very exciting, but it is all documented. So that is really cool. This is, like I said, this is from 1984, where somebody actually went through, or actually it was Abacus Software, went through and documented everything you could ever want to know about the 5041 drive. And I actually have some neat bookmarkings here. So like this guy here, you can kind of see there's some DOS code here. You want to type that in, you can type it in, but it tells you how to copy a diskette and gives you a little bit of code. So you can type this in. It looks like they're 340, 710 lines. Actually, probably less. There's probably maybe 100 lines of code here. And that'll give you a little program so you can copy a diskette. Really cool. And the other little bit I highlighted, which is kind of, for some easy reading. Let's see the DOS and ROM listings here. So this is kind of where it starts. But, if you want to understand how the ROM is and all the code of it, there she be. And like I said, this gives a lot of little DOS programs and stuff like that. Not many pictures, so if you're looking for a picture book and you don't like very dry reading, this is not for you. But what's kind of cool about the very first third of this, it's basically, everything you ever want to know about Commodore DOS, and using the 5041 drive, all the little commands. It gives you error messages, gives you little samples. Like this program listing is for, let's see, what's it for? Yeah, I may have to go back another page. Mailing list management with sequential data storage, and gives you some sample code you can type in. And there's a bunch of that in here, so that's kind of fun if you're really into that kind of stuff. Here's like a little short one. This is for, let's see, what's that for? A couple different little codes. Cloning a relative file. But basically, it's that kind of stuff. And I think probably what most people are going to be interested in, like I said, is about the first part, because it gives you a lot of commands, some samples. Yeah, let's go back a little bit here. Anatomy. When you're looking through this, it's hard to find a good example that people would understand and be fun. But here's kind of like the beginning. How to load something. How to save something. And these are things most people know how to do: verify, save, load. If you ever use the Commodore 64, you have to know this command: load quotation mark test, quotation comma 8. So you can load that application called test. But, there's opens, new. Like I said, it's really, really interesting book. And you look at this, can you imagine people trying to sit down right now and have to load a program from a floppy disk on a Commodore 1541 that's used to using anything modern? Very difficult. I mean, Linux people, they probably most of them kind of understand some of the command line stuff. But, this stuff here, this is how you did it. And whether or not you're doing any of this advanced stuff or just loading programs, you had to do some typing. And this is really a good book. I mean, I've had this for a long time and never really looked through it. I can't remember where I got it. But like I said, this is from 1984. I think it said 1984. Somewhere's preface. I think I passed by it. Somewhere in here. But anyway, you kind of get the idea. Just thought you might be interested in this book. I'm going to probably put this up on eBay at some point because, I have no use for it. But people who collect the 1541 and Commodore 64 stuff, they might be interested to put this in their collection because a really good book. Like I said, even if you're not interested in the code and the ROM code and stuff like that, just the information in here and some of the the early years of DOS on a Commodore 64. When you figure a lot of people had learned how to use a computer, how to do some basic programming and stuff like that. This would have been a very helpful book. But anyway, I thought you'd be interested in it. The Anatomy of the 1541 Disk Drive by Abacus Software. Have a great day.